Okay, so in this here video I'm just going to go over how to add in sounds to your game, which is pretty important for a game feel. So first of all, we're going to have to import our sounds, and I've got a few. I'm going to make a new folder here. Just going to call it sounds. I believe your sounds do have to be in a .wav format. You can use something like Audacity to export them out again into like a .wav if you've downloaded them as an MP3. So I'll just go for this blue color. And again, all you have to do is either drag and drop them in, or you can just right click and import. I've got mine on my desktop, and I've got like an alien gun noise for my weapon, a jump, a land, and a punch noise. Oh, and I've got a environmental music as well. So I'm just going to open those up. Now you can use these straight away, but I'm going to use my land noise for my kind of walking noise as well. And the way I'm going to do this is by changing the pitch kind of randomly each time. So the way you can do that is if you right click a sound that you've just imported in, you can create a cue. Okay, so I've got land cue. I'm actually going to call this walking cue. Open that up. And so at the minute, all it's going to do is play that noise. But we kind of want to have a random note, and what we want to do is bring in a modulator. So over on the right hand side you'll see a modulator, bring that in, and we're going to put our wave player into this now. Hold Alt, and I'm going to click the output, and this is going to go into my random. So what this random node does is it randomly selects from a range of nodes on the left hand side, and we can add in more and more nodes if we wish. So really what I want to do is kind of start copy and pasting these modulators. So the more modulators that we have, the more varied pitches that we can have as well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6, I've got 2 there, so I'll need to add another 4. And if you make one too many, like I did, all you have to do is right click that node and delete input. And we're going to plug our sound into each one of these modulators. You can select the output here as well, and you can get some like volume multiplier, so I'll change that back to 1, and pitch multiplier and everything's in there, but we kind of want to have that randomly chosen by this thing through selecting one of these modulators. So what you want to do is you want to change the pitch min, pitch max, even the volume min, volume max, just to kind of slightly higher or lower levels in each one. Try not get any of them the same. So I'm going to go randomly and go through these. And when you click on a node, you can actually play a cue. You can see it's randomly selecting it, or you can play the node. So just to test out that node. So if I put my pitch way up, the sound. But now if I play the cue, you can see that it's randomly selecting that. We can save that. So that's our footsteps done. What we want to do now is go into our character, and we're going to use this tick animation to decide when it's going to play. So if I pull out from one of these and just type in sound, you can see I've got play sound 2D. Okay. And then if I click here, you can see I've got my walking cue. And that's going to try and play it every time we're walking. And we want to do it for left and right. So compile, press play. You can see it's playing it every frame. So what we want to do is we want to add in a delay to this so it's not playing every frame. So if we type in delay, and if we choose a number such as 0.18 and plug that in, suppose that we're going in there, compile and press play, you see what we're playing. But the problem is that it's constantly playing. We can add in a branch to this just to say, is it actually moving? So to do that there, all we have to do is get our velocity. So if I right click, get velocity, and if I split the struct, okay, and it's going to be on the x value, and I'm going to say not equal. So if this is not equal to float, so it's not equal to 0, so if it's moving, then we can have a branch just off this here one, and that will plug in there as well. So if it's not equal to 0, then we're going to delay for 0.18 and play our sound. Now there is going to be another problem, such as when I jump, it's still playing. So what we want to do is we want to set up another variable just to handle that. So we've got our handle jump, and basically what we want to have happen is here, when we event on landed, we want to have a boolean that says that we have landed. So we're going to add a variable. I'm going to call this has landed, and we're going to set this. That's a get. So we're going to set it to has landed, and then when we jump, what we're going to do is we're going to set this again to false. So when we're in the air, it's going to be false, so it's not going to play, and when we've landed, that means it can't play. And we'll compile that, and by default we'll just have it set to true. And then up here we're going to have another branch, and again it's going to check if this has landed is true or not. So if it's true, it's going to play. If it's false, it's not. So we'll press play. If I jump, you can see it's stopping now. That's another thing, is we're going to have to add in our jump sound as well. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get my jump, and I'm going to create a cue. And again, for this here one, I'm going to put in some randoms, so it's not the same every time. So at the minute, it sounds like that. Maybe we'll have a few variations of that. We'll get our modulator in. Plug those in, and plug our output into that as well. Again, you can take more care when you're doing this. So I'm going to change the values here. So if I play Q, oh, it's going into the wrong one. Forgot to plug my random in here. So play Q. So there might be a bit of a too big of a change in those. So I might want to just bring those back a bit. That's a lot better. So I'll save that. Go into my character, under the handle jump. Again, what we want to do is we want to use that has landed, so we're going to have a branch here, and it's going to check. Actually, we need to do it before this here one. It's going to pull out my comment. So we need another branch here, and we're going to get our has landed. So we're going to get so from the true one, we're going to get our play sound 2D. Just going to move these out of the way. So if it has landed true, yeah, it's going to play the sound. If it's false, it's going to skip that, and it's just going to go over there. So that means that we can't just keep on pressing jump when we're in the air and play the jump sound, otherwise it would. So if I press play now, I forgot to choose my sound, so it will be the jump cue. And you can see when I'm tapping it, it's only working once I've landed. We can also add in a thud when we do land. So event on land. Just going to type in play sound 2D, and this time I'm just going to use my land sound wave. And again, you could use one for when it bounces off a person's head, anything like that, and when you shoot as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the level map, or level blueprint. So in your blueprint section, the main window, just going to open level blueprint, and we're going to find, or we're going to type in begin. So event begin play. We're going to play sound 2D, and this here is going to be our intro slime gear. So I've just downloaded this sound. Again, you can download whatever music you want for your game. I've got this here from a website. I'll show you where I've actually made my jump and my sound effects as well. So compile, press play. So the problem with that is it's too loud. So if I'm pressing this down arrow here, you can see I can change the pitch of it, but I can also change the volume. And if I put that to 0.7, compile, press play, still too loud. So I'll put it 0.2, a lot lower, maybe 0.1. It's better. So instantly you should find that your game kind of feels a lot better with sound added to it. And where you can create and download like sound effects and music are two really cool websites. You can find them in the resource section of Blackboard under sound effects and music. There's the two links. The first one is just a simple website that gives you royalty-free music, which is pretty cool. So if you want to just like look around some music and pick which one maybe suits your theme. And then this BFXR is a really cool website where you actually get to create your own sound effects using this mixer. So you can choose, you know, oh, I want to have an explosion. You can come in here and change the attributes for that. You can also randomize it as well. And then if you find one and you don't want to have it repeated in your game, you can like get a mutation. See, they're all slightly different, and here's like a synth chooser as well, so you can, if you want that to be your explosion sound. And then all you have to do is save to disk or export as a WAV, and again Unreal 4 uses WAV, so that's probably the better option.